Hey friends, how you doing? Happy Friday! I do love a Friday, don't you? Hope you're enjoying your Friday flowers. Today, I thought we'd have a little go at an old technique that I really love to do, and I've been doing quite a lot of it this week actually. And this is what we are going to be creating today. So basically what you need is all your old books that you don't use anymore. It doesn't matter if it goes a little bit sort of off yellow, that's fine. But what we're going to do is we are going to heat emboss using Imala stamps. Then we are going to watercolour paint over the top. So this is the kind of effect that we're going to do. We're also going to be using stencils and stuff as well. This is one that I was just recently playing with before I come on to the Facebook Live. Hi Claire, hi Maz, hi Perry, I hope you're all doing really well. Hi Diane, hope you're doing great. This is the kind of thing that I've been creating. So if you love doing journaling, for instance, absolutely perfect. If you like doing, you know, different mixed media things, absolutely beautiful. Hope you're doing really well. Hi Becky, right, 1 o'clock, you know what that means? Time to craft. Now I am at home today with my Sydney, so he could run in, the cat could run in. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of notice, but hopefully he won't. So also all of these videos are available on YouTube as well. Hi Sylvia, hope you're doing really well. So what we're going to do then is we are going to start creating. So first things first, what we need is some book pages. Let's have a look. We've got 2 here. This one will be fine. So basically any old book page. I do warn you. Hi Helen, hope you're doing really well, my beautiful crafty sister, looking after your mum and dad. So proud of you. Please read the text before you stamp on top. Even though a lot of the text gets lost with the imagery over the top, you really want to make sure that it doesn't say something inappropriate. So I do suggest that you pre-read it first, because I've done it before myself. My girls on my DT will vouch for this. We've done a workshop, we've done a mixed media canvas workshop, and it wasn't until one of them finished she realised there's a bit of a risque word in there. So it's just one of them things. Just make sure you keep on top of it. Hi Alison, hi Michaela, I hope you're doing really well. So the stamp I'm going to be using today is the exquisite butterfly corner from Imala. Now if you've not seen this before, please go along to my page. Happy Friday Diane, hi Tracy, hope you're doing really well. Yes, go along to Stamped by Me. Obviously the whole of the Imala brand is a fusion of myself and Tony Darragh, and of course you may be thinking, what's happened to it? I've not been at television, obviously I am at home, so we haven't been producing more at the moment. But don't worry, as soon as lockdown is lifted, I will be back in the studio. We've got so many more things coming. I mean, I'm working on right up to like Imala 13 at the moment, chapter 13. Also paper pads, stencils coming. We're going to have a whole array of beautiful products for you. So hello Jessica Rose, hope you're my little beautiful hunter. Hi Tracy, hope everyone's doing really well. Right, so I'm going to turn you around now so you can see exactly what I'm doing, okay? So it tells me off when I do that for some reason, I don't know why. There we go. Let's have a look, pull you up a bit. The joys of trying to do it on air. Right, okay, so here we go. So I'm using my Eureka platform. All I've got here is a piece of paper that I've just pulled clean out of the book. That easy. Now, what I am going to do is I'm also going to add some 3D embellishment to this. So I've already pre-stamped on book already, on book paper, and I will just cut that out to create, she says, it was here just a minute ago, a butterfly, because we're going to make that more 3D, but we'll come to that in just a second. So first things first, I'm going to add this beautiful stamp, which is still available at Stamps by Me, and I'm going to emboss this with black. So I'm using lettering ink embossing, but you can use whatever embossing ink you prefer. As we are using black as well, you could possibly use just normal black ink, but the thing is it hasn't got quite that sticky to it, so it doesn't really absorb that embossing. So I'm just giving that a good load over of the embossing ink. Now you may think when you stamp, well, it doesn't look like there's much on there. Wait till you put the powder on before you judge. So now straight over the top, just giving a little bit of fingertip dancing just over the top there. Really, really simple. Give it a good old squish down. So you can see by this one, heat embossing, and I've used quite sort of a gloss black embossing. The one that I'm actually using is True Black by Thirsty Brush. So there we go. So I'm just going to carry on squidging that down for a second, making sure I've got right in the middle now. I am on a bit of a bouncy table. So let's have a look how we are doing. So now what I'm going to do is I've already got a bit of black embossing powder in there already. I'm just going to quickly run it over all of that imagery. Now these are an absolute send. These little dishes. These are brilliant. Could you see you got the nozzle at the bottom? So because you've got that nozzle, you can pour it straight back in your jar. Because to be honest, as much as I like using paper as like a funnel, what happens is if you've got any sort of static on that paper, it will hold on to it. So now I'm just going to take this, make sure I haven't got any other little bits that I don't want on there. Give it a little blow. Right, so now I'm going to be using my heat gun. Let me just make sure we are plugged in. Yes! To heat this up. Hope you can still see. We can tilt you over a bit. There we go. So we are just making sure all of that heat embossing is done. Now when you are heat embossing, try to go for crisp, clean images, because if you do like a whole panel, you won't even see the detail. So just keep heating until it's all completely glossy. Obviously don't have it too close to your paper either, because this is very thin book paper. Perfect. Okay, so now let me just move you back over a little bit. There we go. I can move over. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do a bit of painting. I'm using a bit of a mixture. I've got watercolour paints. I've also got Himi crayons in here and a little bit of distress crayons as well. So if you're looking to make your own colour tones, it's quite simple, because all you're going to do is keep your base colours and then have a couple of swatches, palettes, that you can mix together as well. So I'm going to go for a bit of a lighter green, but I would like a little bit of blue in there as well. Give it a little bit of water. There we go. A bit more yellow. There we go. Right. So now I'm just going to go straight in, and first things first, let's get the colour on. So before we go into painting detail, we just want to get some of this greenage, I mean like green foliage even, just on the background. Now don't worry if you slightly go out of the lines as well, because we are going to be doing over blending over the top, so don't worry too much about that. Okay, let's have a look. Where are we? Here. Just going to pick up a bit more green. There we go, a bit more there. Beautiful. This this is a great way. I'm really into upcycling as well, so this is a great way to be able to upcycle, maybe add to your planners, things like that. Add it as a card like I did with the Daydreamer. Really, really simple. Just use it in all of your projects, create backgrounds with it. Super easy. So now I'm just washing my brush free because I've done a lot of green work. I'm going to come back over once that's dry in a second, because when you add any watercolour paints, or like the Hemi crayons, for instance, that are water soluble, it always dries 2 to 3 shades lighter. So I'm just going to add a bit more pink in there, and then I'm going to pick up a little bit of white. I'll just pop in there. Right, so let's pick up a little bit of pink here, and we're going to start working on this flower down here. Now you can see I've also picked up a little bit of purple, but that's fine because what I can do is just exaggerate that colour out and blend. Not a problem. Bit of pink again, and then we'll go back in. Just follow that round. Just to build up that colour tone. Okay, so now we're going to come down to this one. I'm going to go in blue here. Make sure your brush isn't too wet, because that's the problem. If it becomes too wet, it just floods the colour. So we can always go back and add more detail in with the colour as we go along. So now I'm going to pick up a darker blue. This is how simple it is to blend them together. Pick up a tiny bit of black, not too much, just enough. And then we are just exaggerating that colour away. Now remember that will dry lighter, so we'll come back to that bit in a second. Now I'll carry on with my green. So I've got my darker green here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it here now, so I can pick up a little bit of that black, not too much, and then just get that right. So now we're going to go in them leaves. Now I do paint quite differently to other artists. I always hold my brush quite low, but the reason why I do that is because I find you get so much more control. But if you prefer to hold it at the end, you prefer the much lighter touch, perfect. But for me personally, I prefer to have that level of control while I'm painting. So now I'm going to come down here. Now with all Imala stamps, sorry, I've just got a lump of... Get off. That's all right. There we go. Picked it up. Can you see that? That was just a lump of crayon that I hadn't sort of solidified, if you like, into solidified. Oh, I don't know the word anyway. Into water. So now I'm just going to carry on getting that colour on of that green. Just layering the colours together. I'm just bringing in that darker bit, a little bit dark there. So again, we just carry on painting in the detail. So I'm going to turn this round a little bit, and I've got this little bud here. I'm going to add a little bit of purple too as well. now. So now what I'm going to do is start introducing more colours. So on this palette I've got a really nice orangey wash. So let's get that on the butterfly. Now remember, when you are painting the butterfly, that we also need to do the other one that we're going to add as a 3D detail. So whatever colours you choose here, they need to reflect into that. So obviously, how cool is that? Because you've got that heat embossing, you can just really play with it. It's so much fun. It really, really is. So I'm just going to make up a little bit of orange now. Darker orange, shall I say. So I'll just pop that to dry for a second and I will work on that butterfly. Let me just add a little bit more pink in there. I'm going to add in right there. So I would like this one. Oh, wrong end. Would like this one. This is why I don't have a cup of tea here, because if I have a cup of tea here, do you know what happens? I totally end up dipping it in my tea. Right, I hope you can see okay. I know I'm moving you about a bit, but I want you to be able to see really well. So I'm going to pick up that pink. Now this is not heat emboss, all I did was stamp this. There we go. I'll pick up that light blue. Now if you put too much on, just grab a napkin or I don't know, a kitchen towel, and that will just pull that colour off for you. Sorry if I go quiet while I'm painting. It just really mellows me out. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best ways to keep me quiet, to be honest. There we go. I'm going to go in with that darker orange now. Just pick up on some of that detail. And we'll leave that to dry for a second. So let's come back here now. I'm just going to quickly add a few washes now. So one of the best ways if you're doing washes is to either mix it up really, really wish-washy. So add loads of water into your palette till it's almost frothy. Can you see that? And then what we're going to do is just add a bit of colour. Not too much, just a little bit. Just around some of those edges, so a bit blue now, I think. Have a bit blue up there. Now don't worry, because I can add water to mellow that out if it's not quite what I want. So let me just heat set that quickly before I start adding inks. So if there's any colours that are just too saturated for you, just pick it up with that, with a kitchen roll or with a cloth, and then just take that colour out a little. Now, before I start using my inks, I want to show you a quick technique of how to rip your paper without the fuss. So what I'm doing is just using a wet brush on my paper now, and look what happens. It just rips. It makes it loads easier, to be honest. Especially if you want that sort of frayed edge, then you can get that. It's very, very achievable. Just pull it away. So a bit like something like mulberry paper, book paper works exactly the same. It's quite fibrous. So I'm just going to dry that again before I start inking. Now we're going to go for my favourite inks, which I always use because they are my favourite. One lipstick, I've got a bit of a shade of lilac, evergreen, fossilised amber, my usual rainbow attire. So first things first, I'm going to pick up this fossilised amber and I'm just going to go in and just sort of finish them edges, if you like. So now I'm going to go in with my green. Like so, just a little bit here and there. I'm going to pick up that one lipstick now. And finally, we're going to add that little bit of shaded lilac. Dry again. Now I'm going to pick up my fan brush, quite heavy on water, and I'm going to just tap over. Just a little. Heat again. The joy of having a heat gun means that you haven't got to wait for it to dry in between layers. So if you are an avid crafter, you've probably got one already, but I definitely suggest that you treat yourself to one because it just makes these sort of techniques so much easier. So now I'm just going to pick up that green again with a template. Let's see what I've got over here. Right, okay, I've got my sort of wood effect. I'm just going to add a few lines here and there, just using the green. Nothing too much, just sort of a little hint, if you like. I'm also going to grab that yellow, and I'm going to use like this checkerboard effect as well. So I'm just using a little piece of it, not too much, just a little bit. Now on this butterfly, I'm going to come back now using my inks, and I'm just going to finish off some of those areas that are around it. A bit more vibrancy. Now I'm going to bring this butterfly in, fold it up, sculpt it round. Now I'll just add a little bit of glue. Come on, glue. That's what happens to me all the time. There we go. There we go. And then to finish, I'm just going to add a sentiment. This is Live the Moment. This is a fabulous Tim Holtz. So I'll just use that purple over the top, and then I'm just going to flick it with some water. Dry it off. Once that's dry, I'm just adding a little bit of yellow here and there. Just place that. She says, have I got any foam tape? Probably not. I've got some 3D glue gel, but I just don't know if there's any in there. Yay, there is. That does not happen very often. So then I will place that at the bottom. Now I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock. I've gone for like sort of silvery cardstock. And just wet glue on the back. In the centre. So there we go. Right, let's turn you around. How are you doing? Hiya. Oh, wow. Hi, Lindsay. Hope you're feeling really well. Hope you're loads better, sweetheart. Connor. Hiya. How are you doing? Oh, wow. I hope you will try this. Squirrel. Glad you're watching. And Anne and Simon, thank you so much. So this is the project that we have created today. But it's so unique because you can do it different every single time. Whether you're building up your colours or whether you are just learning to watercolour paint. Super simple, and remember this will work on so many different things, whether it's card making, whether it's scrapbooking, whether it's journaling. Oh, hi Jessica, I hope you're really well. So that's all I was going to do today, really. I hope you can join me on Monday at 1. I'm feeling a journal might be coming on, you know. I think maybe we should do that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, friends. It's seriously important at the moment. And I will see you on Monday. Take care. See you later. Bye.